essentially motivated by.
And yeah, it feels like that if some of the people that worked in these institutions just got better at their public communication or public speaking or whatever, or were just more blood sports hungry, it would be more effective for them to come out and do it. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I think the general attitude is just, oh, ignore it and it'll go away, but that obviously doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, if you're going to debate Kevin Bass guy, oh man, he's a trip. Yeah, we've talked to him before in Twitter Spaces a couple times, and those have not gone well for him. He gets very triggered very easily.
To the to bleed out fast broad spectrum.
And that's the assumption that
I just said I would read it. I'm reading it right now.
You came into this whole thing saying it's bullshit.
Infrasound.
No, it can't be infrasound because it wouldn't be affecting a pinpoint location through walls that nobody else is hearing or being affected by.
Window.
Yeah, again, it's pinpoint. Only one person is being affected.
There might only be one person.
It's not causing
in the whole embassy.
It's not causing any kind of vibration or damage to any other object, but somehow it's specifically attacking the tissues within your head.
And doesn't leave any external marks on the body whatsoever, but it's enough to cause like irreparable or long-term damage inside the head,
like how are you passing through that much? So like a window, concrete. Through,
it would be just a window,
the skin,
right?
Through
Dan made that up. I don't know why we're running
skin,
with that. That is
muscle
that every
tissue,
single one of these happen only
bones.
through windows. But
yeah, through the bones in your skull, but then somehow it only damages your brain tissue.
Are you asking me?
I'm asking. Well, whoever is supporting this.
Dude, I dropped out of fucking high school.
Then why would you assume this is an energy weapon?
Because I read the article, and that's the assumption that they have.
Read the article. Well, I also read the article that shows that literally this technology with microwaves has been made and it works. The range is short, but like it has been made and it works. And the only hiccups the U.S. government had with it were that they couldn't test it on humans or animals effectively because of ethical laws they have.
The U.S., the same one that did MK Ultra. So, what year was this when the U.S. military was highly ethical with their testing and couldn't test on?
Are we already trying to discredit what he just said? Why not?
No, that was just an interesting statement. I'm sorry. The question was, can you show me the application of this with the constraints that we're working with here? I don't know. You guys keep doing this, and you're going to keep doing this. I don't know why I'm saying this. But I keep saying, I don't know how you could do an energy weapon like this that would penetrate a material, cause a specific type of damage, and leave no other mark or affect other people. And then you keep saying, and then you've done this like 5 times. You're like, oh, well, but there was one weapon that worked outside on a bunch of people. Or you're like, well, but there was one weapon that worked on a person right next to him. Well, but there was, like, you're giving me all these other things that I agree. Yeah, these obviously exist. Isn't this literally how radar shit was like, thermal effects were discovered? Wasn't it like a British dude standing next to a fucking satellite dish and a Hershey bar melted in his pocket? Like, yes, this type of shit obviously can affect normal people. You have ionizing radiation. You've got radiation that you can use to kill cancer. You've got X-ray radiation. You've got ultrasounds for imaging things in human bodies. I agree that all of these things exist and can happen. And you keep giving me examples in environments that I agree that it can exist in. Do you have a single example of any of these technologies working through walls on individual targets? Just one example of this. No, wait, for just one example. Okay, that's all. That's what I'm curious about. Okay.
For you. Okay. Where's the example through walls that you're talking about? That you're the victim who was hit through a wall. Can you give me that example?
My understanding is the reason why this stuff is so mysterious is because all of it is happening inside buildings and shit, inside embassies and whatnot. No, wasn't that the whole point of this?
No. Lots of these people are being hit at their private homes.
What does a home have around it? What makes it a home? What's interesting in the home and the outside, Gisticle?
All of the examples I've seen have been either in their homes or outside or in the home right next to a window when they're the only person home. People's pets have been hit apparently, so I can't imagine it's actually that accurate or effective in terms of focusing in just on one person.
Are the pets reporting tinnitus?
Yeah, that was my joke too. Good one. How does the dog tell you can't hear anything?
So again, like you're acting as if, oh well, the U.S. developed this technology. It's a microwave, okay? So if you shoot a microwave at somebody and it has enough energy, it's going to damage tissue. Now, again,
No,
if
no. You only need to increase the temperature in the brain slightly to cause this shockwave effect, which rattles the brain and damages tissues. You don't need to heat the brain enough to cause tissue damage.
Wait, that causes the shock. Can you?
Again?
Oh wait, is it in the article? The shockwave effect.
That's in the article. Yes, that shockwave effect. And it says specifically that the U.S. government contractor that developed this weapon documented specifically the microwave auditory effect, like the hearing sounds from this microwave weapon.
Well, I don't think that has to do with the shockwave effect that you just mentioned, though. Where is this shockwave effect, or what's it called in the article?
Jacob, that's literally why this is interesting. You can just... Sorry, it's not in that article. It's in the other one I sent you.
Oh.
So you're saying that the microwave radiation doesn't have enough energy to actually like burn your skin, but it's enough energy to create some sort of shockwave effect in your brain, and that's what damages your brain tissue.
Yes, and causes the immediate symptoms.
Okay.
Vegan Gains, have you read the article?
Yeah, I have.
The whole thing?
But again,
yeah.
this is just me defending the idea that the technology could exist. I don't think the technology is particularly important, and I would agree with Vegan Gains that it seems also possible that it could be a poison or something. I just think it's interesting that Russia is directly tied to this, while the intelligence agencies said, no, we're medium to high confidence, or intermediate to high confidence, that no foreign adversaries are behind these attacks. And now it seems like that's just not true. That's the interesting part of this to me, is people who have their faith in institutions shaken are going to have it shaken further if this is proven to be true.
Like, for me,
wait.
I would just have to see.
Did they say that that Russia's absolutely not involved, or did they just say there's no proof of like a strange energy weapon? What was the statement by the U.S. intelligence agencies on this?
It was
2020 or 2024?
Either one.
Well, I don't know.
I could go find the exact wording for you, but it was basically they
no foreign
found it
adversaries were involved.
Unlikely a foreign adversary is involved, and they gave that statement that is unlikely a foreign adversary is involved medium to high confidence.
Okay, wait. If a foreign adversary is involved with a novel weapon that's never been seen before in all of human history, why would it be insane that an intelligence might say it's unlikely that a foreign agent is involved? Wouldn't that make sense?
I didn't say it was a weapon that's never been seen before in human history. I said it's clearly, like it seems from the evidence in this article, it's clearly Russia. And this guy himself says, well, why am I able to figure this out when the U.S. has infinitely more resources than I do?
Well, to be clear, this guy hasn't figured out anything. He's found a bunch of people that got headaches.
You haven't read the article.
You've already missed the whole point. The whole interesting part of this is that they took the same group of 50 Russian guys, they go to all of these sites where the Havana syndrome breaks out, and then they see them all leaving right after it breaks out, as in, like, it's just a very clear pattern, and they say they have 8 instances of this happening with Havana syndrome.
Okay.
Yeah, so the issue is the logical leap here. Without actually knowing what the weapon is involved or how these people are being attacked, I don't know why you'd just jump to some sort of microwave radiation thing. Like, yeah, these people could be involved, but they could be like poisoning.
Like, yeah, using poison, like any other of the Russian tactics where they've, yeah.
Yeah, and
I just think the technology is
this.
interesting, and it's possible. I don't necessarily think they did that. I think that, again, I feel like I'm a broken record. The interesting thing is that it clearly seems to be Russia after the intelligence agencies said, no, it's a medium to high confidence. It is not a foreign adversary. That's the interesting part of this story to me.
Why is it clear that it's Russia?
Because they saw a bunch of the same agents at different places.
Steve actually doesn't know because he hasn't read the article.
Wait, just curious. Do they have video evidence of anything of these people, or is it all just like people saying that, like, oh, that's the guy?
I'm
just curious.
Documentary evidence from multiple sources.
But wait. When you say multiple sources, wait, Jistical, real quick. Wait, Jistical, because apparently Dan didn't watch any of this and can't answer the questions. Do they have like video photographic stuff of these guys in multiple areas, or is it just eyewitness reports?
Not video photographic stuff. There's eyewitness reports and U.S. government confirmation that the young guy, the first one you're reading about, 2 U.S. officials confirmed that he was in Tbilisi at that time. They have the pattern of how they travel. They break up their travel into different cities. They fly to certain cities. They drive the rest of the way. They do a bunch of stuff to break up all of their travel. So they have that pattern established, and then they show them in those cities. So it's in Tbilisi for this one, specifically the capital. And beyond that, they have confirmation from the U.S. government and an eyewitness source. So they have the travel documentation.
Is that in one of the
documentation, the U.S. government confirmation, and the eyewitness report?
Is that for one of the places, or is that for all of the places that are being talked about in here?
I believe for all of the places they have multiple levels of information. For some of them, I wouldn't doubt that they only have the travel to those areas corresponding with the dates.
Do you think that's sufficient?
And the article only has 3 of the 8.
Okay.
Do you think that's sufficient to show that this is like a foreign state's plot to be fucking with American?
It's 50 people. It's 50 people who are going in the weeks before these attacks happen and leave immediately after they're done. The odds of this happening by chance are astronomical.
Okay, so I just want to say then, we have a foreign state that's testing an experimental high-value weapon on their near peer, the most powerful country in the world, in a different country that isn't their own, rather than testing it in their own state on people who would not be able to show it. And they're doing it in a pretty low value way, rather than when they might need it to release this tech for like a very valuable operation.
Yeah, this is why my priors on this were also so like crazy. Like, weirdly, this is like the directed energy weapons to cause headaches in a bunch of like embassy retards.
They're explicitly attempting to cause damage to American intelligence agents and diplomats who are working against Russia's interests, and they're doing it because they can do that against that near peer or that higher tier power. And they can do it without it being a declaration of war. They're not killing these people. They're not ever going to be caught with like poisons. They're doing a non-lethal attack.
Wait, hold on. They're not ever going to be caught without poisons. They're just going to be caught with these massive battery-powered fucking intercoherence EM wave radiation machines in their fucking vehicles.
You know that they've done this already, right? They've been
done what?
They were bathing the whole embassy in Moscow. They're bathing the whole embassy in microwave radiation for decades.
An embassy in Moscow?
This is a foreign country.
It gives them plausible deniability.
You mean a Russian embassy in another country?
Yes. So specifically, the cluster of cases that the article brings up is that the CIA office in Kiev that operated in the lead up to Euromaidan, that is the office. They're targeting multiple people out of there. So the people from there go to other cities all around the world and then suddenly come down with Havana syndrome. So they're being targeted in a revenge plot against these agents who must have been critical in working against Russia when they were trying to take over Ukraine, when they're trying to have
hold on.
I can't remember the guy's
Are you
name,
saying they're not experiencing the symptoms until after they've left?
Wait, they're experiencing not until after they left. But it's the same cluster of people who are being targeted in different places all around the world.
The test example you linked to the weapons was an acute.
Yes, I don't believe they were hit. I don't believe they were hit because obviously the whole point of the article is that these Russians go to the foreign city. So one of them's in Guangzhou, one of them's in Hanoi, Vietnam, right? They're all over the world. These Russians go to these places, and then these people who used to work at the Kiev office are targeted, right? They've transferred out of the Kiev office, they've gone somewhere else, and then they are targeted explicitly.
But they're getting symptoms for a gun that supposedly gives acute symptoms when you're being hit with it, but they're getting these symptoms long term when they're very clearly not being hit with these guns. Do you understand the confusion here?
What?
It's the shockwave syndrome. The shockwave rattles around for about a month before it takes effect.
What?
Okay.
No, I didn't say any of that. I don't know who are you guys arguing with?
Well, I asked you. I said, wait, you're not. You said I asked you. Well, hold on. I asked. Wait. You just said. Hold on. You just said who you're arguing with. I can just restate the question. Okay. You asked a rhetorical question. You didn't actually want the answer. Okay, go ahead. Oh, can I ask the question?
My point this entire time has been the agents going to locations in a fairly conclusive manner, right?
Yeah, but it's not even if they're not experiencing symptoms until after they've. Oh my god! If they're not experiencing the symptoms until after they've left, how the fuck do we even know it originated from here? Because we saw the same Russians there.
No, because it's the people who are in that office working against Russia, purportedly by the article, and they're being targeted as revenge, as in they're being targeted years down the line, years later, after they've done these things, as a form of revenge. That is the motive.
So they're deploying a novel directed energy weapon towards people that aren't even involved in active operations anymore.
Article claims, yes.
Okay.
Well, by the way,
I don't know if they're not. I don't know if they're not deployed in active operations. I don't know what they're doing in those countries. They could very easily be working against Russia in those countries.
By the way, not every single person who's being reported to have Havana syndrome has any detectable brain damage.
Okay,
I know
so
that.
my understanding for these directed energy weapons, even in the like lab situations,
You guys don't
is
have
they
to
give,
say
like-
my understanding
Again,
because
you
none of
guys-
us have any
okay, yeah,
understanding.
I'm a retard.
Okay,
They give
me
a
too.
very
Yeah.
acute, they
I
give acute
would
discomfort,
rather
but
we
they
just
do not
didn't
have
actually
long-term,
talk about
months-long
directed
discomfort.
energy weapons. I would rather we
Yeah,
didn't
so
talk
they
about
don't-
them at all
they
because
don't
they're
give-
actually not
they
important to
don't-
the story.
They are. That's
They're
the
literally
most
not important to
interesting
the
part
story
about
at
this
all.
story. That's super
No, they're literally
interesting.
not important to the story at all.
You're using a documentary
Well-
as proof. Documentaries are super questionable because you're able to
What do
pick
we-
whatever things you want and put them that they push your narrative and ignore anything that doesn't and just publish it. You can just fucking yeet that thing out into the world. There's so many bullshit documentaries that push these weird narratives. And if there's like intelligence agencies and like third-party reports that go against this with like scientists and stuff who say like this is pretty
investigatory
unlikely.
bodies who have put their reputations on the line to publish this piece of information. So literally, like all of them are going to be a laughing
Okay.
stock if this is disproven. But
How
I think
do
when
you can't
three
disprove
different
nothing?
places
Wait,
from
none
all
of
over
this.
the world.
None of this can be disproven. There's not even a strong claim made in here. This is all like none of this can be
It
disproven.
could
Yeah,
easily be
you-
disproven.
you
One of
can't-
these
you haven't read the
US
article,
intel
you can't say
agencies
it.
could come out and say, "Hey, this person you're talking about being in this location, they're not there. You just made that up. You're lying."
Okay, wait, but they knew the people were there. But what's a strong claim that could be disproven from any of this reporting?
That these specific Russian agents, these specific Russian nationals, are in these cities at these specific times. That's the general fact pattern that leads to the entirety of the article.
The strong claim is not
Entire
that
thrust
the
of the
strong claim is not that Russians were in these cities. The claim is that Russians are using novel weapons to induce damage in U.S. intelligence people in ways that are untraceable. How could you ever disprove that story? As long as the Russians were there,
You
the
can't
story must be
disprove
true.
That part.
Then that's
You
the
can't
that's the
disprove
that's the
that
big
part.
claim. That's the most important part.
I don't think that's the primary thrust of the story, which is why when I link you that CNN article, I don't even know how much he talks about that. It's exactly what I said. Sorry, not CNN article, CNN video. I linked you the CNN video where the guy, the lead investigator, talks about the fact pattern and what's important here. Oh, we definitely know it's tied to Russia. I literally don't give a shit about the directed energy weapons. That was the U.S. intelligence service's own investigatory finding. Okay, that kind of microwave radiation weapon or auditory weapon was the most likely cause of this. Now they could be wrong. That's totally fine. But I literally don't care if they're wrong. He fucking muted.
Who did?
Okay.
Me? I'm not. I'm just.
Oh,
I'm
the
here.
fuck?
I'm
Oh,
here.
I'm really behind on your stream. Never mind. Sorry, I thought I saw you talking. I was super pissed at nobody.
I'm
So
just
the only
disappointed.
real evidence is
Stop.
that people were
Hold
in
on.
that town.
Dan needs a
Hold on.
virtue signal for a little bit.
Just a little bit more. Okay.
I'm really disappointed that Steven is ignoring this article, and I don't understand any
Yes.
implications of it, but it's crazy to me.
Oh,
but
you know
don't
what?
worry.
I can hold on. I can say it in a way it makes sense. Do you respect the organizations that have put this together? Yes or no? Do you think that these are fucking Daily Mail tier shit? Yes or no?
It's
Answer the fucking question. Come on.
Not more than intelligence agencies with what.
it's
they've
not
put
even
forward now.
about that. It's that
Oh, you won't answer. Okay, that's fine. If you don't want to answer, we
it's
can move
it's a
on from that.
childlike question.
That you won't answer.
No, I won't, because it's a childish question. The question isn't,
Okay.
do I respect the publication? The question is, what did they publish? If you have the time
Okay.
to read the material, you don't cite the authority of the publication, you cite the fucking material, okay? Pretty sure The Lancet is like one of the most respected medical journals in the world, and they're the ones that publish the studies saying that vaccines cause fucking autism. So just because you got a respected publication doesn't mean that it's never fucking wrong. You just deal with the
so what
underlying
we
material,
have
that's it.
is we have 3 different organizations, which I believe that you probably would say I respect them. I think that these guys...
Let me read it. I'm reading
of
it,
all
okay?
of-
I'm reading it. I'm reading it. Let
No,
me read
no,
it.
no,
I'll read
let
it.
me-
I'll read
let
it.
me-
No, I'm reading it.
All right,
No,
all right, that's
why
fine. You
waste
don't
time
need to read
virtue
it.
signaling? We don't have much
Okay,
time on
that's
stream
fine.
left. Oh, he wants to
I'm
virtue signal.
not-
Because you're not saying
I'm
anything of
not
substance.
virtue
You're about to virtue
signaling.
signal. Okay, go ahead.
So here's the other thing here's the problem I have now. Now you're so committed, it'll never get a fair shake.
I'm not committed. You don't even know anything about any of this. You have
Neither
no
do
idea
you.
what the claim even is here. You're just,
Exactly. I just want you to read it.
That's
and
what I'm doing.
actually
I
make
just
a
said I
real
would read it.
assumption.
I'm reading it right
you
now.
came into this whole thing saying it's bullshit.
I came in saying I didn't understand any of the mechanisms for how the
shit.
technology
No.
would work. And nobody has a single link or anything. And Gisticle here isn't even on your side. He's just saying, oh, I don't give a fuck about the directed energy weapons. I think it's possible that Russia might be attacking a lot of people in embassies. I wouldn't even necessarily disagree with that claim. In fact, if this was presented to me as, hey, here's strong evidence that like Russian soldiers might be actually involved in poisoning a lot of people in embassies, I'd be like, oh, that's pretty interesting. Let me read it. But to me, that's not the interesting claim made by this. I wouldn't even bother, I don't think, reading something about that. Because it wouldn't surprise me. And I don't even know how much I'd care.
You
The
wouldn't
interesting thing is a
bother
novel
reading-
technology that allows you to pinpoint people through buildings with directed energy weapons. That's interesting to me.
No, I think the interesting part of the whole situation here is systematic targeting of diplomats, which is something that's never been done before. And yes, the technology is very fucking interesting as well. Obviously, of course. That's like a crazy part of the whole situation.
I mean, if I had to bet, I would bet on the directed energy weapons, but that's just me, right?
Like, I put a, you know,
but I don't think it's critical to the story or telling like a very exciting and interesting narrative here, because obviously, if people are just hold on, obviously, if people are just falling ill who are investigating Russia or working against Russia in some capacity, you're going to have a problem recruiting people to work against Russia in an intelligence capacity, right?
Yeah, I just want to run down a narrative. So we've got a documentary that pretty much is Charlie's mailroom. We've got travel records to show that Russians have been in the same areas as certain peoples in similar timelines to them feeling sick. Now, there's millions of
all
Russians.
in the same group of 50 Russians.
I'm gonna write it down. You ran it down. I'm gonna write it down. You can shut the fuck up. So
yeah, you go ahead, but just get it accurate. You have to be accurate, okay? Yeah. You can't just make shit up.
Sure. What did I say there that's wrong?
Wait, what did you say that's made up?
You said random Russians. You said random Russians.
I didn't say Russians. I said there's millions of random Russians after that. So let me finish. There's billions of Russians probably actually. And you can run narratives from any of them. Right now, the strongest claims we have are there are Russians that are traveling at the same time that these people are getting symptoms. These symptoms are manifesting in entirely different ways than the tests of these energy weapons that we've seen in the past, right? They're long-term chronic issues rather than acute distress. We're also seeing stuff with them using weapons that are completely new and novel in countries that are not their own for pretty low value stuff when you look in like the grand scale of like what Russia would want to do if they're like fucking with America, right? They're doing hard scale like fucking with America. I don't think this is how it manifests, and I don't think they do it with their like new cutting edge tech that no one knows about.
Well, wait, by the way, you mentioned long-term chronic conditions. Particularly out of Cuba, there's actually been speculation that the pesticides being used to combat Zika virus might actually be responsible for some of the symptoms.
Yeah, that's super reasonable. I would not.
You know what? Sorry for everyone in here. I apologize. I've decided that we all need to leave, and Destiny just needs to read the fucking.
I am reading it. Don't worry, I'm reading it right
now. No, you're not reading when we do it. I want you to.
I am reading.
Nope. Read it out loud.
I'm not reading it out loud. I'm reading the article though.
Why?
Because it's easier to read it.
I'll read it out loud to chat then.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Hold on. Where's the fucking link to this goddamn thing? Jesus fucking Christ. Where is this?
You look handsome, dude.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, we can't watch that. Okay. No, where's the fuck? Send me the article. The one that
you literally sent it to me like 20 times. You get it.
Oh, I sent you the video.
I don't want to send it to you and have the energy weapons coming outside my apartment attacking me, okay?
Well, obviously, they're not going to come for you. They're going to come for me because you're the one on their side. You're the one who's going to get paid. I'm going to be the one that gets fucking... Okay, hold on. What is it? The ins.ru?
I sent you the article too, Dan.
Okay, thank you. God forbid someone actually just makes this easier. All right, guys, get ready for some fucking misspeaks. Steve, you might want to go ahead and pull up some Factorio or something else because we're going through it. You ready? I'm going to give it a fair shake. We're all going to do it together. Okay. Unraveling Havana syndrome. I call it Havana because anyways. Unraveling Havana syndrome. New evidence links the GRU's assassination unit 29155 to the mysterious attacks on U.S. officials and their families. A year-long investigation by The Insider, in collaboration with 60 Minutes and, how do you say it, Der Spiegel? I don't know. And Der Spiegel, we're going to call it that. It's probably like Der Spiegel. Anyways, has uncovered evidence suggesting that unexplained anomalous health incidents, also known as Havana syndrome, may have... I have to cover up the chat. I'm going to fucking kill myself. I already know I'm going to speak. I don't care. Just let it go. Okay. Where were we? Havana syndrome may have their origin in the use of directed energy weapons wielded by members of Russian GRU Unit 29155. Members of the Kremlin's infamous military intelligence sabotage squad have been placed at the scene of suspected attacks on U.S. overseas government personnel and their family members, leading victims to question what Washington knows about the origins of Havana syndrome and what an appropriate Western response might entail. Tbilisi. He was tall, certainly taller than Joy's neighbors and the Georgians she'd come to know in 8 months and living in Degomi, an upscale residential community in Tbilisi. He was young and thin and blonde and well-dressed, as if headed to the theater or perhaps a wedding. Minutes earlier, on October 7th, 2021, Joy, an American nurse and the wife of a U.S. Embassy official, had been taking her laundry out of the dryer when she was completely consumed by an acute ringing sound that reminded her of someone in the movies experiences after a bomb has gone off. It just pierced my ears, came in the left side, felt like it came through the window into my left ear, Joy remembers. I immediately felt fullness in my head and just a piercing headache. She ran out of the laundry room on the second floor of the house and into the bathroom adjoining the master bedroom. Then she vomited. Joy and her husband, Hunter, a Justice Department attaché in the U.S. Embassy in Tbilisi, had only arrived in Georgia in February 2020 in the midst of the COVID-19 lockdown. Despite the all-consuming noise in her head, Joy called Hunter. Both of these names have been changed for this story, by the way. As the spouse of a U.S. official serving abroad, she'd undergone overseas survival training and remembered that if something didn't feel right, the first thing you do is get off the X, leave the location. Joy checked the house. Hold on, I just got a nuke. Can we nuke? You know what? Actually, fuck it. Warning you, after this, Omegalols are getting fucking banned, okay? And not a 10-minute ban. It's going to be all fucking day until Monday. That's how long it's going to be. 6 days, starting now. I don't want to see any fucking emotes, okay? I'm doing you guys a favor. Shut the fuck up, okay? All right. A black Mercedes crossover. Fuck! A black Mercedes crossover was parked just beyond the gate of her property, directly opposite her laundry room. Joy went outside, and when she saw the tall, thin man, she raised her phone to photograph him. It was like he locked eyes with me. He knew what I was doing. Then he got into the Mercedes and drove off. Joy took a picture of the car and the license plate as it pulled away. She says she didn't see the man again until 3 years later when he was shown in a photograph of Albert Veryanov, a Russian operative attached to Unit 29155, a notorious assassination and sabotage squad of the GRU, Moscow's military intelligence service. Albert is not an ordinary spy. Aged only 23 when this encounter took place, he was the son of the founding commander of Unit 29155. Furthermore, we're going to call it just Unit 2, okay? General Andrei Ayaronov, 56, who is now the powerful deputy director of the GRU, tasked with running the Kremlin's foreign policy in Africa. To the public, he was a fresh graduate of Moscow State University. When he had earned a master's in management of migration processes, a topic in which his father had took a keen interest. Even within the nepotistic GRU, Albert's trajectory was unusually steep. A young cadet who was being groomed for a bright career in espionage. In 2019, only 20, he even interned in Geneva with a residentura of Unit 2, disguising his visit to the international Swiss capital as legions of other Russian intelligence officers have, as an English language learning trip. Such was Andrei's desire to see his son follow in his footsteps that the GRU had to ignore its own rules of recruitment, which mandate officers blend in with their surroundings. As a 6'2" young blonde, Albert was conspicuous in any crowd, let alone a Tony suburb of Tbilisi. What does a Tony suburb mean? You know?
Tiny suburb, it's misspelled.
Tiny? Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely misspelled. It's just tiny.
Anyways, when Joy saw Albert's face 3 years later, she had a visceral reaction. I can absolutely say that this looks like the man I saw in the street. Next subject. Subject 2, paragraph 2. Not paragraph 2, section 2. Non-lethal acoustic weapons. A year-long investigation by The Insider in collaboration with 60 Minutes and Der Spiegel has uncovered evidence suggesting that the unexplained anonymous health incidents, also known as Havana syndrome, may have their origin in the use of directed energy weapons wielded by members of Unit 2. Among this investigation's core findings is the fact that senior members of the unit received awards and political promotions for work related to the development of non-lethal acoustic weapons, a term used in Russian military scientific literature to describe both sound and radio frequency-based directed energy devices. as both would result in acoustic artifacts in the victim's brain. These and other operatives attached to Unit 2, traveling undercover, have been geolocated to places around the world just before or at the same time of reported anomalous health incidences, or AHIs, as the US government formally refers to Havana syndrome. Furthermore, Joy is not the only victim to identify a known member of the Russian Black Ops squad, lurking around her home. The first sighting may have happened exactly 7 years earlier. Contrary to the information that has been made public about Havana syndrome, that it began in the Cuban capital in 2016, there were likely attacks 2 years earlier in Frankfurt, Germany, when a US government employee stationed at the consulate there was knocked unconscious by something akin to a strong energy beam. The victim was later diagnosed with a traumatic brain injury, just like I have from fucking being on the stream so long, and was able to identify a Geneva-based Unit 2 operative. The incident occurred within months of Russia's 2014 invasion of Ukraine, in which a stealthy, nearly bloodless seizure of the Crimean Peninsula in February and March 2014 gave way to a roiling 8-year-long dirty war in the eastern industrial heartland of Donbas, close to Ukraine's border with Russia. The Insider, 60 Minutes, and Der Spiegel have uncovered documentary evidence that Unit 2 has been experimenting with exactly the kind of weaponized technology experts suggest is a plausible cause for the mysterious medical condition that has to date affected over 100 far-flung US spies and diplomats, as well as several Canadian officials. Many are seasoned subject matters specialists on Russian, fluent in the language. Others have expertise in different fields, such as the Middle East or Latin America, but were assigned after the takeover of Crimea to sensitive US government roles aimed at countermanding Russian aggression and intelligence operations across Europe and North America. Unit 2, moreover, is infamous within the US intelligence community. Their scope is global for conducting lethal operations and acts of sabotage. A former high-ranking CIA officer with subject matter experience and expertise in Russia told the Insider their mission is to find, fix, and finish, all in support of Vladimir Putin's imperial dreams. Originally conceived as a training unit within the GRU, it was reorganized and expanded in 2008 as an operations team devoted to assassination, sabotage, and political destabilization campaigns across the world. 3 members of this unit, Colonel Alexander Mishkin, Colonel Anatoly Chapiga, and Major General Dennis, were responsible for poisoning British double agent Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia with a military-grade nerve agent Novichok in Salisbury, England in 2018. In 2015, Dennis and other members twice poisoned Bulgarian arms dealer Emily with a similar organophosphate weapon, almost certainly because Emily's company, EMCO, was selling ammunition to Georgia and Ukraine, two countries that had recently been at war with Russia. Unit 2 also used Serbian mercenaries to orchestrate a failed coup in Montenegro on the eve of the nation's ascent to NATO in 2016. As the Insider was the first to report, the unit was responsible for a series of explosions at ammunition and weapons depots across Bulgaria and Czechia. Explosions which began in 2011, 2 years after Unit 2 reconstitution as a Black Ops squad, and right in the middle of the Obama administration's reset with Moscow. These operations injured or killed dozens of innocent bystanders. Their exposures have led to the expulsion of 19 Russian diplomats from Sofia and Prague, respectively, as well as indictments by the Bulgarian government of all of Unit 2 saboteurs implicated in bombings in that country. More recently, members of the unit were deployed as an advanced sabotage and kill team in Ukraine in the days ahead of Russia's full-scale invasion of the country in late February 2022. Unlike other teams within Russia's sprawling intelligence apparatus, this one doesn't spy on people, at least not for the sake of gathering information. It is devoted exclusively to so-called kinetic, i.e. violent, military operations. Its predecessor and analog was the Soviet KGB's department devoted to special tasks. which conducted assassinations and acts of terrorism abroad. Its most sinister spade work included killing Ukrainian nationalists in Europe with bombs and cyanide guns, and plunging an ice axe into the skull of exiled revolutionary Leon Trotsky in Mexico in 1940. Havana syndrome, itself long thought to be a crude biological effect caused by a different kind of unique weapon, encompasses a variation of symptoms including chronic headaches, vertigo, tinnitus, insomnia, nausea, lasting impairment, and in some cases, blindness or hearing loss. Many victims have said they were fine for 1 minute, then stricken with intense pain or pressure in their skull the next, usually localized to one side of their head, as if they were caught in a beam of concentrated energy. A good number have been diagnosed with mild traumatic brain injuries. Others have suffered such severe long-term cognitive and vestibular after effects that they can no longer function on a day-to-day basis and have been medically retired from government service. Joy has suffered from headaches every day for the past 3 years. She has also undergone 2 surgeries for semicircular canal stuff, the appearance of holes in the bony walls that encase her inner ears. She will need a 3rd surgery to address the rapid deterioration of her temporal bone, a condition that she says her neurosurgeon cannot explain. Okay. Havana syndrome first gained public attention in 2017 in connection with strange ailments affecting more than 20 CIA and State Department officials posted to Cuba in the wake of revivified diplomatic relations between the Obama administration and the government headed by Fidel Castro's brother, Raul. The cases were recorded in Havana between May 2016 and September 2017, when the Trump administration radically reduced the State Department's presence on the Caribbean island and the CIA withdrew all of its personnel from the reopened U.S. embassy there. But few in the intelligence community believed the Cubans were behind the phenomenon. Given Moscow's outsized influence on the communist-run nation, the prevalent... Fuck! I was doing good there. The prevailing theory was that the Russians had carried out the attack as part of an effort to hamper the U.S.-Cuban rapprochement. Well over 100 AHI cases have been cited worldwide, affecting American spies, diplomats, military officers, contractors, and in some instances, their spouses, children, and even pets. Medically confirmed symptoms have been reported as far as Guangzhou, China, and as close to home as Washington, D.C. One victim was a senior official in the Trump-era National Security Council who became temporarily aphagic? I'm not going to do what you do. I don't know, whatever. And whose body went numb right outside the Eisenhower Executive Building in mid-November 2020. Another was CIA Director Bill Burns, then Deputy Chief of Staff, who was hit in Delhi in September 2021, causing Burns to cut short official visits to India and Pakistan. That same year, the Biden administration signed into law the Havana Act, which provides 6-figure compensation for confirmed victims of AHI. There's a reason why the Havana Act only came into force in 2021. For the past 8 years, Havana syndrome has been the subject of intense controversy. Sociologists have suggested it is little more than a mass psychogenic illness, or perhaps the outbreak of mass hysteria. Such arguments have been undercut by multiple medical studies, including one conducted by an expert panel convened by the U.S. intelligence community. The final assessment of that investigation found that AHIs had a unique combination of core characteristics that cannot be explained by known environmental or medical conditions that could be due to the external stimuli. Nevertheless, in March 2023, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence issued a redacted report that said it was very unlikely that AHIs were caused by a foreign adversary. This assessment has sent shockwaves among the hundreds of former and current intelligence officers and family members who believed that they had suffered significant and often irreversible health consequences at the hands of an enemy force. As a result, many of these victims felt betrayed by their government for neglecting to identify the culprit for their predicament. I'm not joking. I will fucking IP ban all of you. Glue, you're fucking done. I'll see you next week. You're going to be gone on Monday. You too, Prying Mind. Yep, Birdman, see you also. You think I don't fucking take names? I'm taking fucking names. You're going to be gone. You better hope it's a fucking week, because there'll be a goddamn month if you don't fucking stop. Where was I? The Insider and its investigative partners have uncovered new evidence in the form of intercepted Russian intelligence documents, travel logs, and call metadata, along with eyewitness... I can't.
It's a lot, man. I read the whole thing.
I'm still going. Fuck it. We're going to do that, and now I can keep track of them for later. Okay? Where was I? Okay. along with eyewitness testimony, the totality of which challenges the assessment. Oh my God, it's a Russian calling me. Hold on 1 second. Привет, как дела? Нет, хорошо. Что такое? No, right now I'm streaming to a bunch of retards who are trying to understand why your country is trying to kill everyone. So I got to go right now, okay? Love you. All right.
Okay, real quick before
All right,
Dan
bye.
starts again, Nacho Mama is running a fundraiser for her. I think her mother-in-law just passed away. So if you guys want to drop by there, she's collecting funds. Nacho Mama, kick.com/Nacho Mama, I think.
For what?
Just
Fuck
if any
that
of you guys
shit.
are interested.
Donate to the fucking Patreon.com/anything
Dude,
else.
her mother-in-law just died or some shit. Okay.
Oh,
so
I didn't hear
Nacho
that.
Mama. Okay.
Oh.
Kick.com/Nacho Mama. If you guys want to go, you should rate her after this Destiny. But
can I? You're reading ahead? You're in a head reader? You better be fucking with me right now. You're in a head reading again in front of me. How could you do that?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reading this and just marking dumb shit. I hope this gets better. I'm about 60% of the way. This is the dumbest shit I've ever read in my entire fucking life. But maybe it gets really good at the end.
I'm not reading anymore. You don't deserve me. That's it.
All right.
You're a bad person.
I don't even know if I believe in some of the claims here. I wish they'd publish more. Maybe it's here. People are being diagnosed with like traumatic brain injuries, and there's no details on any of this. Nothing. We don't have any more information about that. There's traumatic brain injuries, and we're not getting any more information. Based.
For me personally, I said when I went to start reading this that there's a lot there where I'm granting charity to these like 3 organizations who are reporting on this as a group, and that I'm assuming they cross-checked each other and made sure they got details like that correctly. If they
yeah, but why not give us more? What do you mean? What kind of traumatic brain injury?
I don't know.
Okay, well, wouldn't that be kind of important if we're establishing a fact pattern of like certain neurological issues caused by whatever the fuck this Havana syndrome is?
Yeah, it seems quite important. I don't even know. I'm not totally sure what exact symptoms basically correspond to something they consider Havana syndrome. Seems like a very broad constellation of symptoms that could come from a multitude of sources. So it's a little confusing. Sorry, I just turned my music on super loud while I was talking there.
It's all good.
You're only making it harder for yourself when the ray gun gets revealed.
Okay.
Man, you're gonna have egg on your face. There's no, it's my understanding, and that statement right there, that was this is a shit article and they're wrong.
Oh, I'm sorry, hold on. My bad. I jumped the gun. And yet it remains unclear exactly how the attacks are carried out or whether multiple types of devices have been used. The limiting factor with ultrasound weapons is distance. Their sound waves travel poorly through air and solid objects found in buildings, meaning any device of this type would have to get up close to its target, no more than 10 or 12 meters away. Okay, so they at least include that like the technologies they're positing are, as of right now, thought to be impossible, but okay.
Okay. So you just said the whole traveling thing, the whole like main thrust of the article is probably not true or not useful.
It's just uninteresting.
That this will be that these attacks will be attributed to Russia in the next, let's say, 2 years.
All of them listed in here, or the majority of them?
That this is a consistent pattern. At least the, let's say, the 8 that the investigator found this group moving towards.
Sure. We can bet $100 on it if you want.
Sounds good. Book it.
Well, the good news is that you're in good company with people who also think it's bullshit. You got Glenn Greenwald. You like that guy, right? Finkel? He also says it's bullshit. Who else says it's bullshit?
Mike Cernovich, definitely complete bullshit.
Mike Cernovich, add Destiny to the list. That's it. We're ascending. We are coming to the side. Tim Pool, also.
Yeah. Everybody Tim Pool had on his show last night was like, "This is just an op to try to get us to go to war with Russia. This is the government trying to convince us we should go to war with Russia."
Except that doesn't make any sense because the government isn't the one that's publishing this. The government has denied this over and over again, and it's other publications.
It's incredibly retarded. Yeah, it was incredibly retarded.
Not good.
Oh, I'm sorry, 30 years. We're going back to the Gulf War. Whew, my God. Oh, never mind. It's for a different thing. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, been fun. I appreciate it. Thank you for my brain has been expanded like crazy.
If you're getting off, can you raid Nacho Mama on Kick?
I'll think about it.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go to my Discord.
Love
See you guys
careful.
later. Bye.
Oh, I'm not going anywhere. What do you want to talk about?
Well,
I want to also learn if this is possible. It's time to learn.
Time to learn. I mean, it's possible that people are being poisoned in places. I would believe that. I don't think that the directed energy weapon technology, my understanding of physics right now means that it's not possible.
Yeah, my understanding also says that it's not possible. But, could be. They are very crafty.
Okay, guys, listen. My
Wait,
God.
we have more time. We can keep going.
No.
You don't have to go anywhere, right?
I do. I'm gonna go fuck
Where do you
your
have
mom.
to go? It's only 9:15. We got like.
I get off at 9.
Minutes.
That's the whole point.
What? No shot.
Yep, 1 to 9 is supposed to be when I stream. If I don't have other shit going on.
Since when? You got here at 3:30 today. Fuck
yep,
that.
I had other shit going on in the morning.
So then you go for an extra 45 minutes.
I can go.
All right.
Fuck your mom.
What can I do? Hold on. 45 more minutes. What do you want? I know there's something.
Truly, Onslaught. Nothing. Join late. How was the research stream? It was crazy. Tomorrow you're going to see all the stuff we learned today about immigration, guys. It was wild. We learned so much.
So, we can do immigration.
Yeah, we will. It's going to be amazing.
Listen. Where could you possibly have to go right now? Nowhere.
I have a number of things that I can be doing. I still need to reformat this computer. I haven't done it. I still need to clean more shit out of my apartment. I need to do travel shit. I'm still planning my Israel shit in the background. I need to send out some emails for a wave of that. I'm trying to coordinate rescheduling the 3 shows I was going to miss in New York to see if I can take care of that this week. I'm still setting up the, I have to make time to redo some of the studio stuff downstairs.
What do you want to do in the studio stuff, by the way?
Just changing the cameras and finalizing how everything looks, basically, and then finalizing the audio shit. Yeah, just that autistic shit.
Interesting. the Israel stuff. What's the timeline you're thinking on that?
I don't think we're saying that publicly, but I'll let you know.
Oh. Okay. Listen, you know I appreciate you, right?
Good, and I love you too. You're my favorite Dan.
You're my favorite Steve.
Thanks. Okay.
And my favorite Destiny. How about that? And I know a lot of Destinies. Okay, and they're a lot prettier than you too. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, I love you guys. It's been fun. I will be back tomorrow. Be careful. We're going to cappuccino, 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 cappuccino. Am I doing this? I will catch you guys next stream. Marino. Peace out. Right? We agree with that, right? Okay. Do you also agree that they